Hiya Dolls, Trixie here. In an effort to produce more content, I decided to make a podcast with my brother titled Sibling Soliloquies. Okay, I understand that soliloquy means to talk to oneself, but it sounded cool and we love alliteration, so yeah. For this first episode, we talk about the new Netflix movie, What Happened to Monday. Well, it's mostly me just describing the movie to my brother. Spoiler warning. In fact, it's nothing but spoilers. So we plan on doing more of these in between the classic movie musical reviews. The first one that I'm working on will be Sound of Music because it's the first musical I ever saw as a kid. That hopefully will be out soon. Until then, enjoy this spoiler-heavy discussion about what happened to Monday. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm so bad at explaining movies. The microphone. Okay. So watch this movie. It's called What Happened to Monday. And I didn't...
The Netflix film.
The Netflix movie. I didn't hate it.
Alright.
But I don't know if it was good. Okay, so the premise is, it's like kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. Not really. But basically there's overpopulation. And so what they do is if you... because of like GMOs and what's the thing with the earth and the global warming and all that, more people are susceptible to having twins and triplets and that kind of stuff.
So we're genetically, like, more fertile?
I guess, yes.
Yeah. So we're being overpopulated?
Yes, we're overpopulated, so there's not enough food and water. So basically what they do, there's the Child Survival Act, and if you're born with a sibling, or if you have more than one kid, what they do is they cryogenically freeze it.
Is this the one where it's two people and they're, like, switching, tag teaming? It's,
The Parent Trap?
No, not the... Well, there's Parent Trap. What's that other one? The Prestige.
The Prestige... You didn't know that they were... Oh, yeah, you did know that they were twins.
Well, at the end.
Yeah. Okay, so basically...
You gotta Michael Caine it. You gotta... The Prestige.
Michael Caine. Right.
The Prestige.
So, if you have an extra kid, they freeze it. That's like the thing. Glenn Close is behind it. She's like this, like, politician.
Was...
Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil.
So that's the act, is they freeze the extra kid. And Willem Dafoe, he ends up having 7 granddaughters.
At once?
Yes, they're septuplet. They're identical in every single way.
Do we get a cameo from the Octagon lady, whatever? Dr. Octopus lady, whatever her name was?
Octomom.
Octomom.
Wow, that's super relevant in 2017.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he ends up having 7 granddaughters, and he knows a doctor who will not turn them in, so he keeps all of them. And then so
wouldn't it be kind of obvious to, like, if you see somebody pregnant with 7 kids, it's kind of easy to spot.
Oh yeah, they're ginormous.
You know, she wouldn't be able to waddle around with that many kids. Like, she'd be probably bedridden.
Yeah, people aren't really, like, waddling around, though. She has 7 kids, and the doctor's like, what do you want to name them? And then he's like, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So, that's okay.
Well, it's classy not going after the dwarf names.
True, that was my first thought. I was like, Dopey, Duck, Sleepy. Okay, so they're named after each day of the week, and then I think the mom dies. So he's raising them, and he's like super tech savvy. He has this apartment where he can hide them and all this stuff. So as he's raising them, when they get to be about 7 or 8 is when they're finally allowed to leave their apartment. So he's been educating them up until this point. Now, each girl has their own day of the week. So they can only leave the apartment on Monday, Tuesday, or whatever their name is.
Gotcha.
And then, so they can do whatever they want, but they have that one day. And then they can do whatever they want inside the apartment. They can dress how they want. They can do what they want. He says that they can express themselves however they want. But when they're out there, they are the same person, Karen Seven, which is based off of their mom, I think it was. So they have this like tradition at the end of every night where they have to pretty much tell all the girls everything that they learned and did, so that the next day, the next person will like, what? I don't know what happened. So they have this bracelet that like records kind of their day and all that. You see one of the girls, Monday, she's going out, and like whenever they go out as a kid, they have Willem Dafoe with them. So they go out, and then one of them, I don't know, Friday, I guess, she's like the rebel skateboarder one. So she like jumps out the window.
Hold on a second. How did she learn how to rebel skateboard like in the apartment?
I don't know. They had a lot of space.
I mean, is this like one of those, like, we're just going to choose one of the different kids from, like, the mystery school bus or something and give them, like, assign one of their personalities to one of, to one of these 7-day child kids?
They definitely each had their own personality. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I think it was Friday. She escapes and she goes skateboarding. You see them back in the apartment. Willem Dafoe's like, "Where's Friday?" And they're like, "I don't know, she went out the window." So they're waiting for her. This is after the day is done because she's late for the meeting. And then they hear a knock on the door, and then he's like, "Okay, everyone get in their hiding space." So he has like Murphy beds for all their, everything has hidden potential, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so they have their spots, and then when he opens the door, it's Friday. She was skateboarding, she got into an accident, that's why she's late, and she like broke part of her finger. So he's like, "All right, girls, just so you know, whatever happens to one of you affects all of you." So
again, the Prestige, when dude shot his hand.
Yeah. So he takes care of Friday, and then he's like, "All right, Monday, you're up." And she's like, "Is this gonna hurt?" And he's like, "Yes, but I need you to be brave." And he chops off her finger, chops off all their fingers. And then, so you see them as adults. And then by this point, you don't see Willem Dafoe anymore. So they've settled into their new life of Karen Setman. And then, so one of the girls, she always wears a hat. She's like super tech savvy, and she has changed the apartment. She's upgraded their tech. So you see them getting ready for work. The first thing, they have this mirror, and it kind of, like, when they look in the mirror, it logs in all the facial things from all the girls. So if one of them had like a pimple, it's like, "Now you have a pimple on your right hand." And so that they know how to get ready. So they have like they have a wig, and then so they go out and they all have the same job, and it's the same deal, one day out of week, and then at the end of the night they have a bracelet that says everything.
So 7 people are being supported by one household income?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, so let me flash back. Okay. So basically, you know how you can't, the reason why they did the sibling thing is because of there not being enough food or whatever. So one of the girls, when she comes home from work, she brings home like rats or something, and they cook it up. And then so they're eating them, and one of them's like, "I'm not going to touch that." And then so later on you see Monday throwing up, and then the blonde one, there's a blonde one, she's like, "Oh, it was good going down, but not coming up, huh?" And then she's like, "No, I'm fine." And I was pregnant. I know it. She's gonna have babies.
She's gonna have sextuplets also? Or...
I don't know. So anyway, so Monday goes to work, and she doesn't come home. And they're like, "She's late. Why is she late? She's never late. She's a responsible one."
Wait, is it the Preggers one?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think I skipped something. Oh, yeah. So when Monday goes to work, and there's this guy who she works with, who you can tell likes her but doesn't like her. Like, he's like the skis, but he has something over her head. And he's like, "Oh, I know what you're up to." And she's kind of scared because she's like, "Oh, my plans are gonna, whatever."
Uh-huh.
And then, so when she goes missing, they're like, "What the hell happened?" So we're supposed to think that he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we think that he did it. So they weren't supposed to leave at all, because now that she's missing, they don't want to risk it, but they're like, "We have to. Like, we have to go.
We gotta find out where she is."
Right, we have to go to work as usual. So Tuesday goes to work, and I don't know, they had a promotion, and they're like, "Oh, you went home early to celebrate yesterday." So she's trying to get all the facts of like why the other one's missing, and she's like, "Oh, right. Do you know where I went?" To her secretary, and she's like, "Yeah, you went to this bar." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And then she goes to the bar, and then the bartender's like, "Oh, hi, whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, do you know what time I left yesterday?" And she's like, "Oh, you..."
So this kind of became Dude, Where's My Car?
Yes. And she's like, "Oh, you left at this time," but she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "I think it was because your coworker was making you uncomfortable." And she's like, "Oh, right. Which coworker?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, this guy." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So now they know that it's the creepy dude who, all the fingers are pointing towards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Tuesday gets picked up by the authorities because something happens. Oh, wait, I have to go back a little bit first. When Tuesday's going through the checkpoints, one of the guards is like kind of flirty with her. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, that's the best part of my day because I get to see you." And she's just like, okay, creeper, whatever.
So apparently one of them has been going through this checkpoint, but not telling the others.
No, they all go through the checkpoint.
But he only
works on the one day.
Ah.
But one of them had to... Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Well, because one of them took the other one's day.
Okay.
Because one was sick. Now I'm confused. This movie's like, it's a little convoluted, whatever. Anyway, so...
PLL convoluted? Or?
Not that. It's not that bad, no.
Okay.
I think one of them took the other one's day because one of them was sick. So because of that, the security guard who usually works on one of theirs days was always, I don't know. Anyway, so
security guard only works on Fridays.
Yeah.
And Friday couldn't make it to work on Friday, so Tuesday took her day.
Yeah.
And when Tuesday went through there, the guy was like, "Hey, lady."
Yeah.
And he was like, she was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Basically, that's what happened. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So Tuesday, which one's Tuesday? Tuesday is red hair. So I'm gonna start calling them by their facial features, their individuality.
Okay, like does one of them have a mustache?
Yes.
Like what's okay?
So red hair. I think that's Tuesday. She gets picked up. Oh, they have wigs and everything, so they all look the same when they're off.
You mentioned that.
So she gets picked up by the authorities, and they're like, "We know that you're a twin," or whatever they say to her. I don't know. And then so now that the jig is up, they send, I'm guessing, like 3 mercenaries to go kill the girls in their apartment. So it's all like tech oriented. Like you need an eye scan to get in, so they have her eyeball, and then they get into the apartment, and then so 3 of them were in there, 4 of them were in there to fight off. Wait, how many days of the week are there?
There's 7 days of the week.
There's 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
One's
one
missing.
Of them's missing.
One of them's probably dead because they have her eyeball, and then there should be, wait, that's not 7.
5 left.
There should be 5 left. So I believe there's 5 in the apartment, and there's these 3 guys that come in, and they're trying to kill them off.
Are they like super ninjas? Is that one of the trainings that they got?
One of them, like you see her boxing, so she's like, that way. So they're trying to fight them off.
Sporty Spice.
Yes. So one of them gets killed in that apartment. I don't remember which one. I think it was Sunday. Sunday Sporty Spice. She gets killed. Then there's 4 left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be 4.
Yes. So, so they kill the guys.
Mercenary dudes.
They kill all the mercenary dudes.
Are they like named after like months or something?
Oh wait, hold on. 2 of them die. One of them gets killed in the apartment.
Okay.
No, wait. There's so many to keep track of. This is why you have to kill the siblings. I mean, freeze them. Okay. Anyway, so at least one of them dies in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the other ones are like, "What do? We have to get out of here." They're like, "No, this is our apartment." But they know now that someone is after them. So,
yeah. But
they realize that those guys weren't part of the bureau, which means they're trying to keep it under wraps. And then when you see why they're trying to keep it under wraps, is because you freeze these kids when they're like 5, or when they're babies, or when they're kids. So if they find out that 6 of them slip through to adulthood, then her reputation's shot. So she's trying to keep it as quiet as possible.
Okay, I'm gonna take this into Star Trek territory. In Deep Space Nine, there was this race. They're called the Trill, and inside of their stomachs they have slug, and the slug gets passed from person to person, and along with them all their memories.
I remember.
Right. So in one of the episodes, the Trill on the show, she's having like these weird dreams or flashbacks or something, and they it's not from anybody that she knows. There was another person that was the host that was being blocked, and they didn't want to tell anybody about it because it wasn't one of the chosen people. As it turns out, it's all a scam because there's not enough slugs to go around, so their excuse is that there's only part of the population can be a host. Because if everybody were to find out that like everybody could anybody could be a host, there'd be like chaos and people wouldn't be able to have dreams or whatever. But so that's the reason that they had to keep that a secret. I don't understand why they would have to keep a secret that there was more than one child being like, if there was an excuse that like, hey, if 2 of them were born, one of them's gonna end up dying, or like they were killing them, or whatever. So what's the reason in this that they're limiting to just one kid out of the two.
Because their excuse is that since there's not enough water and resources and food to go around, they limit it to one to make it a better place for everyone. They basically freeze the one child, so when conditions improve, they'll unfreeze it, and then it's a happy world again.
Okay, but I don't understand how one family with 6 kids completely destroys the system for everybody. That's just an extra 6 people.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, why everyone's sibling has to get frozen?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I get it that there was 6 of them and they managed to survive. How does that mess up the system for everybody else? I'm sure that there's crime. I'm sure there's people stealing food.
Well, it's very, like, heavily guarded. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just, like, from what you're describing, it seems like this movie's falling apart.
When Glenn Close confronts one of the kids, I don't know which one, I can't remember. She's like, oh, how do you feel, you know, that you're selfish and your father or your grandpa's selfishness caused, you know, so many other mouths to go hungry. That's basically it. Yeah. So her platform is, by doing this, you're saving the world. Basically, that's it. I don't know her logic, but she's a politician and they can make people believe that they're doing the right thing, apparently.
I mean, if they just... I'm sure if they know, they
you're
could just...
You're trying to... Listen.
Look, they could just... Each one of them could go... Like, since they're all different anyway, if they just, like, you know, they know, like, look, you guys have been good about keeping it a secret. Just go off and live your lives as individual people.
Why would they want to do that? That doesn't cause drama. You're trying to bring logic to a movie that's not real.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about this flick. Like, it...
But let me finish. Right. Okay, so, where are we? One of them died in the apartment. One of them's gone. Monday's gone or dead.
Yeah,
and then Tuesday's probably dead.
And so they figured out those dudes are mercenaries.
Mercenaries, because they're trying to keep everything quiet.
Yeah.
So they're basically on the run from...
general law.
Yeah. So whenever they picked up... Okay, so then it's the next day. And then... Because it'll say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Basically, I don't know if...
Oh, that's so you know which day of the week it is?
Yes.
Okay.
So that you know which girl is... Whatever. So then the next day... the next girl goes to work, and... So
wait a minute. So, like, let's say it's, like, Tuesday, but Tuesday's dead, so now it's showing Wednesday. Does it show, like, today's Tuesday, but this is Wednesday?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it should do that.
Wait.
Make things less complicated.
Well, no, okay, so I was wrong. Whenever they picked up one of the girls, the guy, not the creepy dude, the other one. Oh, the security guy. That was like, oh, this is my favorite day of the week. Oh.
Yeah.
He sees her getting brought into the bureau, and then so he goes to the apartment. Everyone's like, who is this guy? We don't know who this guy is. And they're like, well, just answer the door. He's with the bureau. But then they figure out, like, that the guys who tried to kill him weren't with the bureau, so they go to answer. So the girls hide, and then one of them answers the door, and she has blonde hair. So he's like, oh... new look, and she's like, yeah, I'm just trying something different. And then so he's like, are you gonna invite me in? So he goes in, and then like they're still all like, what the fuck is going on? And then he tries to choke her.
What?
And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you liked that. And she's like, oh, not today. And and then so he kisses her, and then so I guess he's having an affair with one of them. I'm guessing Monday.
Preggers?
Has to be that one. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sunday was the one that was vomiting, and Monday took her place. No? I don't know.
So anyway, obviously dude's having an affair with somebody.
With one of them.
Yeah.
And then so the other one has to pretend like she knows him. And then so when she goes to talk to her other sisters before she leaves, because he's like, well, you can come over. The other one is like, listen, if you attach your bracelet to his, you'll be able to get all of his information. Because I guess there are those cell phones. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she rigged all this science. So she goes over.
Wait, everybody has one of these bracelets?
Yes.
That records everything?
Yes.
That's convenient. for them to share their information.
Yes.
All right.
So.
But what's the real reason for the bracelets, though? They'd record everything.
I think everyone has one because it's how they go through the checkpoints.
Okay.
But since Hat's sister is super sciencey, she rigs it to do extra things.
Gotcha.
So she's going to go and she's going to connect it to Dude. So they go to his apartment and they start boning. And then so while he's distracted doing that, she's like, when she gets his information. Oh, by the way, like with their bracelet, they like open up their palms and then that's how they
type?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's science. So she gets his information to find out. And then he has to go to work the next morning. And then she's like, no, stay. And then he has to leave. So then, after he leaves, she, like, pretty much FaceTimes the other ones that are still in the apartment. And then she's like, oh, turns out... Oh, so this is how she cleverly finds out which one. Because she's like, please stay. And he's like, we've already been through this. I don't want to just see you once a week. And she's like, what day is that? He's like, Monday. So that's how you find out which one's having the affair with him.
Nice.
They're
subtle.
They're very clever girls.
Well, I mean, here's my thing. Like, here's how where this movie falls apart. The second they find out that the mercenaries were, like, not sent there to, like, to keep it on the hush-hush.
They should have pieced out?
They should have just gone public.
True.
Thrown a monkey wrench in the entire thing, and then they would have been public, like everyone would have known them, and they would have all been alive and safe and
I think
whatever.
it's because they wanted to find out where the others were.
I mean, but by getting this information out there to everybody, then they would be like, crap, we can't kill these people now, because there's already 5, 4, however many of them together, and they're like, look, there's this many of us,
yeah,
and they're holding them hostage or, possibly killed them.
Well, I mean, they assumed, they wanted to believe that Monday was alive, but Tuesday they had her eyeball, so they assumed she was dead.
So you'd see her later with an eye patch?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Hold on, you're ruining it. Okay, so, what happens?
All right, so Dude's gonna go back to work.
Yes, and then so Blonde, like, FaceTimes them and is like, oh, turns out he's been having an affair with Monday, and something, and then at that point, the mercenaries or someone...
More mercenaries?
More people, they bust into his apartment, and she's like, and they shoot her in the head, so they watch her die. They watch Blonde die. She dies in Dude's apartment. And then so they're like, oh no, what do we do? So they're running off, and then one of them died jumping off of a roof. I don't know.
They wrote themselves into a corner with too many characters, so they just killed them off
How
randomly.
many sisters do we have right now? 3?
3 or 2?
3 or 2?
Yeah.
Anyway, so 2 of them one of them died some other way. And then, so there's 2 in the apartment now. Let's just skip forward to whatever day. There's 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And then, so...
I'm guessing one of the captured ones is the Preggers one?
Okay. Yes. Okay, so we don't know that she's pregnant. But anyway, something happens where we find out that one of them is still alive. And we see her, and she's like against the wall like this. And you're like, it's Monday. Oh, so the mercenaries go back to kill the girls in the apartment. And...
More mercenaries?
I don't know. They're not mercenaries. Like, the first set of guys that went up to shoot up the place, they were, like, independent. But then Glenn Close has a team of people that they're not technically bureau.
Like the Death Troopers.
Something like that. Like, they're her group of people, and they go to kill the girls, and, like, every time they're out, it's those guys. Okay. Like, they're the cover-up. So they go to the apartment. One of them, the smart tech-savvy one, she is like, no, you guys go. And then so what she does is she blows up the apartment with herself in it, and then Pixie Cut, that's another one, she escapes, and then I think she has one more with her, I can't remember. And then Dude sees... Oh, I missed one. Okay, so I forgot how another one dies. So one of them goes to the apartment of Dude.
Yeah.
Not creepster, but other creeper. Work creeper.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, you turned us in. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then she is confronting him, and he's like, I know what you did. And she's like, what are you talking about? Because that's what they do. They keep asking questions that they should already know answers to.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I already told you, you need to give up the promotion or I'm going to turn you guys in. And then she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I know that you've been working with Glenn Close. So I know,
what?
Right? So basically, because they work at a bank.
Yeah.
So I guess he found out that she embezzled money for Glenn Close. Like she donated however much money to
one of the days of the week.
One of the days of the week did that.
Okay.
So at this.
Is it eyeball?
No.
Okay. Is it preggers?
I think so.
Okay, keep going.
So while she's in that apartment, like she has an earpiece to talk to the other girls, and then so that guy gets killed through a window, and she's like, how do I get out of here? So so the guns in this place, they're all like
biogenetically coded to a person?
Pretty much, yes.
Wow.
So basically you need like your own fingerprint to
pew
pew. So like she goes.
They took that from Judge Dredd.
She goes there with the gun, but she can't actually use it. But she uses it, to intimidate the guy. But then he gets shot through the window, and then so guys come in to take care of her. So she hides in the bathroom, and then one of the guys goes in there. She kills him, and then she cuts off his finger and tapes it to her own because they don't have a finger. Remember, because they lost it when they were kids.
Yeah.
So she uses that to like pretty much shoot her way out of there.
Okay.
And then, so she's like, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? And they're like, oh, if you jump out of this door or jump out of this window, you'll land in the trash bin, so you'll be okay. So she's like, okay, and she jumps out of the trash, but the trash has already been taken, so she lands, and she's like,
and she dies?
She doesn't die.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, are you able to run? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, well, run. So she goes running, and then, okay, so I skipped over before. So when Guy goes to meet up with blonde girl at their apartment.
Which guy? Creepy guy or lover guy?
Lover guy. So when Lover guy goes there, she was on the walkie with them, and they're like, hold on, we have a situation. So she's like hiding for her life, like, oh crap, like I have a situation here. There's guns, after me. But after Lover guy leaves, then they go back to taking care of her, and then I don't remember how she dies. She dies somehow.
Okay.
So now I don't know how many sisters we have, but Pixie cut. Oh, so Hat.
Are you sure there's only 7?
I don't know. There's so many. There's so much story.
Because you've killed off like 8 of them so far.
I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, so the one that wears a hat, she's the tech savvy one.
Yeah. She
is like, you go ahead, Pixie cut. And then, so she blows up the apartment with herself in it to kill the people that are after her. So Lover is watching the news, and it's like, this apartment building blew up. And he's like, no! So he goes to the apartment building, and he sees Hat in a body bag, and he's like, no! And then, so when he goes to get into his car, Pixie Cut is in there, and she's like, why did you turn us in? And he's like, oh my gosh, I thought you were dead, what's going on? And then, so he finds out that they're twins, or triplets, or whatever they are. Septuplets. So then he's like, I thought she was dead. And then they're like, no, she's still alive, because they had seen the video of the girl in the wall. They're like, no, she's still alive. And they're like, okay. So now I guess he's on the side to kind of help them. And then so he's like, what do we do? And since they took
So the captured one is the one that he
is his lover.
Is his lover.
Yes.
Okay, the one that they saw footage of her like cowering in a corner.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
did they explain that to him? That like, look, one of the other sisters blowed up, but we know where you're.
He ended up saying like, she ended up saying that there's a lot of us.
Okay.
So
obviously.
They're
coming out of nowhere, even though.
So they were taking Hat in a body bag, and then he's like, what do you want me to do? And then so basically Pixie Cut's in a body bag, and since he's a security, he's in the bureau, so he's rolling her into the freezing place, and then so they take out a couple people and they go to the room where they freeze the kids, And then she's like recording it with her bracelet, and then you see that they're not really freezing the kids; they're killing them, which I totally knew was going on from the beginning. I was like, they're definitely killing the spares.
So that's let's see here. In Logan's Run, when your thing starts blinking at a certain age, you go to you're supposed to go to this world, like to the next world. And what they end up doing is like killing you and using you for food to feed everyone.
Didn't they kill you up in the island also?
Yeah, but they scrap they use your body, your clone, and they use your body parts. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I forgot. I love that movie.
Organs.
I know people hate it. I love that movie.
No,
anyway,
that movie's fantastic. It's probably one of Michael Bay's best.
So anyway, so she rolls into the place and she's videotaping them killing these kids, and then so she takes out the nurse. And
nurse?
Yeah.
Is that who?
The nurse who, because like they put the kid in a pod. And the kid's like, is this gonna hurt? And she's like, no. And she stabs her to like numb her. So she kind of goes to sleep, and they push a button, and it like burns them.
Gotcha.
And then it just kind of dumps their bodies.
Again, they should have done the Logan's Run route and used them for food.
Yeah, but anyway, because that would have made more sense. Because the reason why they're killing people off is because they need food.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pixie Cut throws girl into the fire pit. She kills those people. That one, and then the guy nurse who was helping out with the baby killings. And then so they escape. They end up going to the room where Monday is being held, and she turns around, and guess what?
What?
It's Tuesday! She's missing an eyeball.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, it's not her. So guy's obviously devastated, but he still needs to help the cause. But then we see Monday,
which is Preggers.
Okay,
so Tuesday missing the eye is the one that was helping Glenn Close?
No, Monday is. So Monday, who's Preggers?
What a twist! And
I know that's the only thing that I didn't like. So much of this movie was so predictable. But anyway, she's the one that was helping Glenn Close. She gave her money, and she basically set up her sisters to get killed so that she could have a life.
Was there any indication earlier on when they were growing up that she was like the outcast of the group and hated the rest of the siblings, or was that just...
No, but...
Did they just come out of nowhere?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Because she was always the very responsible one. Mm-hmm. She had to be like the tough one for the family. So when she's finally face to face with her sister,
we're down to just the two?
Okay, so there's 3 girls alive right now. There's Eyeball, which is Tuesday. There's Pixie Cut, and then... Preggers. So, by the way, we don't know that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew because I was like, oh, let me guess.
Yeah.
Because anytime you see someone vomiting, there has to be a reason.
Oh, yeah.
That or they're upset for some reason. I don't know why that happens. So when Pixie Cut, she is talking to Eyeball, and she says, oh, you have all your stuff here. She's like, yeah, because they picked her up, so they still had her wig and her costume and everything. She's like, okay, give me your wig. So she dresses up. She's the Karen. Karen's their main personality.
Yeah, who just dressed up like Karen?
Pixie Cut just dressed up like Karen.
Okay. So
she goes, because now their plan is to expose Glenn Close. Mm-hmm. So Eyeball has to go and get the information, because there's going to be like a big seminar type thing. Glenn Close is running for something, and she's going to talk about how great her program is. And so Pixie Cut tells Eyeball, you need to upload my bracelet information to her projector so that everyone knows that she's burning babies.
Even though she's not the tech-savvy one.
Right.
Gotcha.
I mean, they all kind of know things, but tech-savvy was the
super tech-savvy.
Super tech-savvy.
Okay.
So she goes to do that, and then Pixie Cut dresses up like Karen.
So it's that scene in Mallrats when Silent Bob's upside down with the VCR.
So now Pixie Cut is Karen, and I don't remember what she was trying to do out in public. I think she was looking for Monday. Because I think at this point they knew that Monday betrayed them.
Yeah.
And then so while she's there, Monday shows up at the bathroom where she's like, doing her like, oh, I can't believe what we're about to get into thing.
Yeah.
So they confront each other. And then she is like, oh, I was always a responsible one, and you guys were always screwing up. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be a burden for you. Like, I'm sorry you got your finger cut because of me. Because I guess Friday, Pixie cut.
Was the one who got the finger cut?
So
she was rollerblading or something?
Yeah, so since she was the rebel and Monday was the responsible one, I guess she resented her for that. I don't know. Because she never really paid attention, and Monday was like, do the meetings, do this, make sure everything's perfect. She was kind of like the glue of all the
So this all happened because she lost the finger?
I don't know if that's why, but she brought it up, so clearly...
Yeah, the finger thing was very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then...
So they're in the bathroom confronting each other?
Yes, and then they start to fight, and then...
Please tell me that, like, they fight, and then, like, one of them, like, the door closes, and, like, one of them comes out as, as the character, but you don't know which one.
That's kind of what happens.
Okay.
So...
Like, as she walks out, she's, like, adjusting the
So
wig.
you hear a gunshot, and one of them gets shot. You don't know which one.
Gotcha.
But then Glenn Close is giving her meeting.
Oh, the suspense.
I know. Glenn Close is giving her meeting, and then one of them...
Your seminar?
Her seminar, yeah.
Or presentation?
Yes.
Sorry.
And then while this is happening, Eyeball is trying to upload the thing, and Lover is trying to help her keep the people trying to kill her off of her back. Because, they know that... Because one of the guys is like, don't let her touch the tech room. I don't know what he says. So he's fighting them off while she's uploading the video.
Okay, wait. Stop, rewind.
Okay.
So, just to recap, Eyeball is trying to upload the video.
Yes.
And there was a fight between Pixie Hair, which is Friday, finger cut, originally Sporty Spice, and Monday, which is Preggers, but we don't know it's Preggers yet.
Right.
Isn't Preggers and Lover Dude together?
Yes.
But, okay.
But he doesn't know that she's alive yet.
Oh, alright.
No, or he does.
So, I mean, why would he be helping against her?
No, wait, he doesn't know that she's alive.
Okay.
We don't see... Okay, because what happened was, we find out that Eyeball is alive, and that it's not Monday, and he's devastated. But now they're like, okay, we have to work together. Because at this point, they already know about the burning babies.
Yeah.
So...
But they don't know that it's...
we don't know that Monday's...
the one helping out.
Exactly. So... When we see What's-Her-Face getting ready, we find out that Monday's alive and that it's her fault. And then... So Monday and Friday are confronting each other. Someone gets shot. A video is uploaded, and they're like, oh, what's going on? So finally, Friday... Or we don't know which one it is. One of them walks out. And then... They're like, oh, you're outraged because you're killing babies. Everyone's mad because they watched the video. And then you see Monday is the one that was shot. She comes out and she's all like actually shot up and she's like, whoa. And then so there's a big shootout. Everyone's running away. Glenn Close gets arrested or something. And then Lover guy's like, oh, I love you so much. And she's like, don't let them take them. As she's dying. And that's how you find out she's pregnant.
Oh, because she's holding her stomach saying, okay.
And then, so basically the freezing system, the killing baby system, gets dismantled because, she's killing kids. I don't know if she gets arrested or fined or something, but Glenn Close gets in trouble. Preggers dies. Redhead / Eyeball. So here's, with all of this that's going on, this is where the movie lost me. When she was like, don't let them take my babies. She was way too skinny to be pregnant with twins for them to save the babies.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm pretty sure she was shot in the stomach. Somehow, though, the final scene is Pixie Cut, Eyeball, and Lover Dude in some kind of lab, and they had babies in water. They're like genetically growing the babies. He's like, oh, so what are we gonna do now? Blah blah. And she's like, Eyeball's like, oh, they fixed her face with science, so she has her eyeball back. And she's like, call me Terry. And then so he's like, well, what do you want me to call you? And then so Pixie Cut's like, Karen Sandman. And then that was the end.
So wait, call her what?
She wants to be Karen. She's the final.
So, Pixie Cut, the one that was like the rebellious one, wants to be the official?
She's the official one now.
Okay, and then the other one?
Is going to be named Terry.
Okay.
But now that there can be siblings, it's not a big deal for both of them to be bringing.
Yeah, so it just ends with her saying that she wants to be the thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're growing the baby, like, are they growing the dead ones' babies?
Yes.
And they specifically said that that's what they're doing.
Well, like, because when they pan out, because you see the babies in the tube.
In the jars,
in the jars being grown. They pan out, and then it's just a room full of babies. So I don't know if they're just letting people keep their babies. I don't understand.
Okay.
I probably missed some stuff. Sorry that I jump around a lot. I'm really bad at telling movie plots. But it was so dumb. Right. But I didn't hate it.
Because it was entertaining.
It was.
But so it's PLL.
Yes. They had a lot of like cheesy lines. And I think it's just because, I don't know if because I watch a lot of movies or it really was that predictable. But there were things that I was like, oh, let me guess. And then I was right. Like when I saw this girl, I was
girl covering her face?
I'm pretty sure that she's missing an eyeball. Like I knew it was Tuesday right off the bat. Because they showed her like cowering in a corner. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I could have been wrong. It could have been Sunday that was sick and Monday took her place. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know if whoever was sick maybe wasn't sick from being pregnant, but I just assumed because that's why people throw up in movies. So yeah, it was, and I think it was just one girl playing all of them, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that was the movie. It was a lot of, did I kill off all of them? Monday was alive. Tuesday was eyeballs. One of them jumped off a roof. One of them got killed in the head. Friday was alive. I don't know. Because overall, first of all, like, it was one chick playing 7 roles. She did a pretty decent job at kind of giving them multiple personalities. But
individuality, but not really.
Yeah. Because their personalities were really generic. It was like, there's the nerdy one, and then there's the slutty one, and then there's the one that likes to box, and, you know.
So, if they were named after spices, what would they be? Because obviously we have Sporty Spice.
Yes.
And
Sporty Spice is not the Pixie Cut. She's actually the one that jumped off the roof. Okay. She was like boxing.
Did she parkour off the roof, or?
Yeah, she. Okay. Like when the guys busted in, she was pretty much
parkouring.
But they all did their job at like taking care. And then so we find out that Slutty Spice is all talk. So because she's the one that gets picked up to go with Adrian to his apartment, and turns out she's never done anything. She's just literally all talk. And they're like, "You mean you've never?" And then so she like bangs this dude for the first time.
Gotcha. So it's just parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. And then there's salt and pepper.
There's nerdy spice. Fake ginger spice. So yeah, I didn't hate it.
Is it something that, like, maybe if you watched it again, you might enjoy it a bit more, since you already know what's coming and you just know how preposterous it is?
Maybe.
So on a scale of 1 to 5.
See, okay. Back in the day, before Netflix got lazy and would say thumbs up, thumbs down, they had a 1 through 5, and it was like, hated it, didn't like it, liked it, loved it, really or whatever. I felt like they needed a 2.5, which is like, I didn't hate it, star. That's what this is. It's like a 2.5. It's like, I don't hate it.
It seems like it's a lot of fun. I might enjoy it.
It was fun. I mean, you can watch it, but I just had to talk about it and ruin it because it was stupid.
Yeah. How would you compare? Like, is it dumb but lovable like The Room, or?
I mean, but that movie's
genius.
Is it genius? Well, here's the thing. Okay, so when you watch movies from the 80s, like action flicks, they're just as stupid, but because of nostalgia, they're the most awesome thing ever.
Not always. There's some of them that legit.
But for the most part, no. Yeah. Let's be honest. These type of sci-fi movies, they're dumb, which is what makes them awesome. So I'm sure in 20 years, when a kid's watching it, this is going to be his, what's it called?
Total Recall.
His Total Recall, exactly. So, it has potential for that.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to punch it in the face.